The North Fork Valley is just a real fertile little island. It's like this little tropical island in the middle of the dry desert of western Colorado. The highest concentration of organic farms in Colorado. It's really a tremendously beautiful, amazing place for recreation. It's a really great tourist destination. So we have an existing industry that would be absolutely, completely destroyed if you brought in the industry of gas and oil development.
You don't get that kind of food, agriculture, tourism in an environment where you've got trucks with fracking chemicals going back and forth and you have a lot of industrial activity. It just isn't going to happen.
This is Montrose, Public Avenue, the center of Montrose, and they're fracking about a mile from here, so we're going right up towards the courthouse. And look at the tankers here. There's a whole line of them waiting to get through our stop sign in front of the courthouse. Can barely have enough room to drive here. Look at the road, it's just caved in on the side here. My name's Landon Dean from Eagle Butte Ranch in Paonia, Colorado. We raise natural grass-fed beef. The gas companies started moving into the area about a year and a half ago, and they asked the BLM to put some parcels up to be leased. You know, I think that there's places where you grow food and there's places where you develop energy, and this is a place where we grow food.
The increased risk of surface contamination would effectively destroy us. Hi, girls. Come on, Buzz. My name's Eugenie McGuire. We raise Black Welsh Mountain sheep here in Paonia, Colorado. Do you want to come say hello? That's Melinda. The community's beliefs and the community's economic base are being totally ignored on the altar of we need gas for energy independence.
You know, you just really can't put a gas well in the middle of an organic orchard. I don't know about you, but I don't want benzene in my apple juice.
Pollution in Parachute Creek is up this week, 6 months after hydrocarbons were found leaking from a pipeline.
Tests of the water show benzene levels for part of the creek above the federal limit for safe drinking water. KJCT News' Shannon Ballard heard from the energy company taking responsibility for the leak. She joins us now live. Shannon?
Guys, Williams has said a faulty valve on a pipeline allowed the release of more than 10,000 gallons of hydrocarbon liquids near its natural gas processing plant in Parachute, and this week contamination worsened.
An energy company crew has stopped a leak of green-colored fluid spewing out of an oil well a few miles east of Fort Collins in Weld County. Had been for more than a day before they got things under control.
This is what Ken Hall videotaped from his property on Monday afternoon.
It started spewing this green fluid you can see.
This is what he and so many others could see a day later. Hall snapped some photos when he says the well was fracked a couple of weeks ago.
Fracking is safe, they say, they tell us, until it's not. And this is an example of something going wrong.
As for Hall, he is not an activist, and he says he knows how important the oil and gas industry is for the economy.
We have to be safe. We have to be careful.
But he lives near this, and he wants to make sure others who don't at least see what can happen.
If this was next to a river or a stream or whatever, this would be a catastrophe.
It's not just, well, it's not in my backyard. No, is there a real economy that's happening? My name's Marley Hodson. My wife and I own and run Smith Fork Ranch in Crawford, Colorado.
What did you do, rent a car? Yeah.
This is not an area where it's kind of out of sight, out of mind. It's right smack in the middle of all of our food production.
Well, it can create jobs and it can kill jobs too, the jobs that are already here. Is that a worthwhile trade-off?
Everybody came together on this. And I think it was because we hit it so hard and so fast in the beginning that so far we've been successful. At this stage of the game, we're waiting for BLM to update their resource management plan with the hopes that the new plan would show that most of the areas were unsuitable for gas and oil development. If you can get on it early with your community, you can get things turned back around.
I am definitely not against oil and gas development. Fully understand its importance on a national scale. I think that you pick your places where the gas drilling can do the most good and the least harm. Here, I think it do an enormous amount of harm.
It's just one of those special places that once you start to develop, it's lost forever.
It's a great agricultural valley, and it's a great place for us to raise our kids and to grow really high quality produce for both for around here and for the Front Range. And it's clear that oil and gas development and what we're trying to do with the smaller diverse family farms and educational programs are incompatible. We can't do what we want to do and have oil and gas development here. It can't work.
We have people from all over the world coming here, and I always have to ask, why Paonia? But they find us, and I look through our guest book, it's quite amazing. Businesses like ours are the heart and soul of this valley. Our business is hugely dependent on this wonderful view and the fact you can have a glass of wine on our terrace. And if those are gas wells over there, I think it probably changes their business pretty dramatically.
A big fire continues to burn hours after an explosion at a local gas well site. Good evening, everyone. That fire is so intense they've called in a special team from Texas to put it out.
Flames from the gas well fire could be seen for miles in and around Dunkard Township as smoke from the raging fire billowed hundreds of feet into the night sky. From a distance of perhaps a mile or more away, the fire sounded like a jet engine. One worker was treated and released at a hospital. Another is still unaccounted for.
I moved to Paonia for the clean community, for the clean air, the clean water, and the organic food.
We've been here in the valley for 12 years, and we've been farming here.
Something came to disrupt our balance of our organic farms and clean air and water, it would be a crisis. We can't grow organic food without clean water.
It's an unknown practice, and the risk that I've learned about around the country is that there is a high risk of water contamination, and that's a high risk to my family making a living. Anything that threatens the safety of our food crops threatens everything we do. I don't think that the drilling industry can give us a firm answer whether or not it's safe. Is it possible that those fracking fluids can emerge in the stream beds lower in the valley, which would be here? I think those questions need to be answered before we can move forward with this extraction technology. If we're going to extract this gas to no ends in sight and risk the 150-year-old agricultural heritage of our valley, if we risk that lifestyle, then shame on us.